Hello, friends. Good morning. Welcome to another Heartfelt Creation Friday. I know it has been a while. I had intended to get one released last week, but things have just been really busy around here. But I am excited to be back with you, and I have a really fun fall project for you. So I'm going to go ahead and switch the camera, and we can see what we're going to make today. All right. So here is my fun fall project. And I guess I've just been in a thankful mood and I'm really enjoying working with those beautiful fall colors. So, you know me, I love creating dimension and perspective on my card fronts. So, this is a 6x6 card and it is top folding, and there's a reason for it to be top folding. It's pretty thick on the front, and if I made it this way, it might be more likely to fall forward. So it's important that this design is a top folding card. So, all right, let's take a look at what we need in order to create this. Okay, I got a whole pile of goodies here. So I didn't pull all the products this morning, but I think most of them are just going to be recognizable, and I'll try to tell you where they come from. I did have to pull in from other places a square die, and this one measures 4 1/4. Now if it was bigger, you could go a little bigger. I don't know that you'd want to go smaller. It would really limit your window to work with to create your dimension if you went smaller, but if you had like a 4 1/2 square or something, that would be fine. But mine is 4 1/4. You're going to need one piece of the thick foam board. This is just your regular foam. Sizzix sells this particular, and it comes in a pack of 6 sheets like this, 3 white and 3 of the black. And I'm using black today, but you could use white. And I used this whole entire piece on our project. I did pull in a grass die. You're going to need a 6x6 top folding card. This is a 6" by 1" piece of grass. Here's all my goodies all colored and ready to go. Then you're going to need one piece of background paper that has a pattern, that has a design in it. So you can see on this one, I used the house, but on today's, I'm going to use this pretty forest scene. So these come from the Cottage Collection, and then you'll need a piece of solid paper. I chose orange, but this could just as easily be any of the other colors as long as it complements your scene. And both of these need to be cut to 6x6. All right, the last thing here you'll need is your images. And for today, I went to the Cottage Collection, and let's see, what's that actually called? Yeah, the Countryside Cottage. And I'm using the autumn, and I'm using the summerscapes, and I'm using the trees. And these are I just went to places to get my fall themed images that I wanted. But, there's lots of other collections that have fall themed images, so you can really use any of them. But I made my tree, and I made 2 batches of leaves to go on my tree. Made my little wheelbarrow, my mailbox, 1 flower, and then my handful of pumpkins and gourds. Okay, so first thing we're going to do, I'm going to set these aside for now, is take our 6x6 solid piece, and you're going to the best of your ability, put this right in the center, and we're going to die cut this square right out of the center of our 6x6 solid piece. All right, the next thing I'm going to do is we're going to measure off 1/2" strips from our piece here. Sorry, I'm a little scatterbrained there. And the way I do this is, I have a ruler that has the markings both directions, and so this part right here is 1/2". So I'm just going to lay this right on there. Oops, that's a paintbrush, that won't help me. Grab a pencil here. There we go. And I'm just going to make 1/2" marks. I'm going to have to use a pen. So all the way down, I'm just going to make 1/2 inch marks all the way. And you don't have to be super precise on this, but you need them to be about that width, and I'll show you why here in just a moment. All right, and you can see you have a little bit left, but that's okay. We're going to use this whole entire piece. And now you're just going to cut these off, okay? And I could have had this done in advance, and I'm sorry, I probably should have, but you'll have to watch me cut these real quickly along your lines. There we go. So you want all of your foam strips to be relatively the same size, and I chose this foam because of its thickness. It's a very sturdy, thick foam compared to some of your rolls. Now there is a roll on the market called the World's Best foam, and it is thicker. It is made for making shaker cards, and that one too, if you happen to have that on hand, that would be great. I've got a couple of those on order, but I haven't received them yet, and so I am using this one. All right, there we go. Not too bad. I'm just going to cut this off right here. If I had longer scissors, that would have gone faster. Okay, so here are my foam strips. We'll set those aside. We've got our piece here with the center removed. There we go. We're done with that. All right, so this is what we have right now. We're going to set this aside. We're not going to use that piece. So this is going to be what I have to work with. And I think on this one, now on my original, I put my tree off to the right, but I think maybe on this one, I may put my tree over on this side, just to be a little different. I'm going to set my wheelbarrow pretty much right on top of the wheelbarrow that's in my scene, because that's mostly going to be covered up, so you're not going to see that other wheelbarrow back there. But we're just kind of laying out how we want this. See that? All right, because my mailbox is so big, I'm still going to need my mailbox on my top layer on the front, so I'm going to put him right over here on the corner. Of course, the leaves are going to be on my tree. So now we just need to decide where we want to put our sunflower. And do we want him over here by the... Now I could raise my mailbox a little bit and we could put the sunflower over here by the mailbox. What do you think? All right, we're just kind of building our scene up, and then our gourds are going to go on the outer frame as well. And any on this side. We could split them up. No, I like my gourds all together. All right, I think I'm kind of liking that. I'm going to move my wheelbarrow over just a little bit closer to my tree. And what do you think of that? I think that's pretty good. So let's go with this, and I'm going to show you the next steps. So before we go any further, we're going to need to add some shape to all of our images. So I'm just going to turn these over, and for all of the leaves, I'm just putting a nice pressure right there in the middle, and we're going to be cutting these leaves all apart, so I'm not worrying about doing any shaping to the entire thing, because I know that I'm going to be cutting those apart. Okay. There we go. From my post box, we're just adding some shape in there, following kind of the shape of the mailbox itself. There we go. Shape. Can you see me in the camera? I will shape up the pumpkins here. My gourds. So the way we're going to create the dimension is by using our foam. And I'm not really going to do much to the tree, but I am just a little bit right here on these. Okay. So everything is all shaped. Now I'm going to go ahead and on my frame here, I'm going to go ahead and add foam all the way down. Now you do have to trim it just a little bit because it's going to be a bit too long, but that is okay because we're going to use all those little pieces that we trim off. See that? So that's why we wanted them to be a 1/2 inch wide, because we want them to fit there on our frame really well. And this is a style of card that you can do for any season, of course, but they turn out really fun. And I just love creating that layered look on the front of a card. I think that's really pretty and fun, and it's something that the Heartfelt Creation products just do so beautifully. And there we go. The last one in. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is add my grass. So we have a whole big pile of foam over here. Try to keep some of that out of the way. All right, let's put this over here. So I am going to add my grass so it just barely comes up, and I'm going to trim off one end just a tad so I can kind of maneuver it in there and not having it stick out the edge. But this is going to be my bottom. So now I'm just going to pull that off, and I'm going to line up the grass. Hopefully I cut it short enough. Yes, I think I did. All right, so there we go. We have our grass. Now, before we go much further, I'm going to go ahead and add our tree. And I'm going to put some foam just right on the back. And I'm using some of those scrap pieces that came off the ends. That's what I'm using to add some foam to my tree. And that one little skinny piece that we had, I'm going to cut off some really thin ones and add one piece onto each of the branches. See how I'm doing that? Okay, just little thin pieces. And I need to put my glasses on for this part. Sometimes I struggle, and then I think, why am I doing that when my glasses are laying right next to me? All right, and there's a few little places on this tree where it gets just a tad thicker. And if some of your foam shows, it's okay, because you can just make a point to cover that up with one of your leaves. And you know what? I just remembered this one edge is going to be hanging off, and we're putting it on this side this time. So we're going to put our foam over on the other side. I forgot about that. Okay. All right, so this is going to be hanging off a little bit, so you're going to be trimming, so we don't need to put foam exactly right there on that side as much. Okay? All right, so let's go ahead and position our tree. I'm going to raise it up just a little bit. About right there is good, I think. Okay. And I'm also going to go ahead and position my wheelbarrow in there, and I'm just going to put one piece of foam on him. All right. Oh, sorry. There we go. Position that about right here. All right, that's pretty good. We've got the beginnings here of our scene. So now I'm just going to turn it over, and I'm going to go ahead and trim off anything that hangs over the edge. All right. So here is our first layer. Now the next thing we're going to do, I am going to go ahead and turn on my hot glue gun, and we are going to add our leaves. And I found it easiest to do this with the glue gun. That'll take just a moment to heat up. And like I said, I am going to snip some of these apart so we don't have them all looking the exact same way. Let's see here. I like to have a few that I can tuck in. There we go. Okay. And you can just randomly cut those apart. I'm just going to layer them up. You can see how I did my tree here. I put lots of different layers of the leaves so they just look more full on my tree. All right. Like I said, this is just putting a little bit of glue on here and adding our leaves. Now, you want to keep in mind where the frame is going to be. Okay, so you don't need to put leaves back there where the frame is going to cover them up. Okay, there we go. Whoa, got strings everywhere. All right, now some of these singles, I'm just going to add those on. And I'm going to use all my leaves and kind of layer them up. Oops. Having trouble getting glue on there. There we go. Let's see. What happened to that one? There we go. I've got little strings everywhere. Now here's my last one, and I think I'm going to just kind of layer it right here. Okay. Tuck that stem right under. Okay, there we go. Now I think that's going to look really nice. Okay, that's all we need the hot glue gun for, so we'll go ahead and turn that off. Set that aside. And we have our bottom layer ready to go. All right, now, the more I think about it, I think I want my sunflower more in the center here, and then my mailbox can kind of tuck in behind it. What do you think of that? Did you like it better this way or with... I think I'm going to make my sunflower more center. So I'm going to take two, let's see this one, and we're going to stack them up because we want this one to be double thick, okay? All right, okay. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do, go ahead and lay your frame aside. We're going to take our extra pieces that we have over here, and you're going to put them right along the edge of your card. And over here by the tree, we're just going to skip the tree and keep on going. Let's see, I'm going to use this thinner piece to go under my, this little thinner piece that I have, I'm going to use that to go right underneath my wheelbarrow. And let's say a piece of your wheelbarrow's in the way, you can just chop that off, just like that. You don't have to worry about it because that's all going to be under our frame. Let's see. It's a little too wide. Just trimming down my foam to make it fit where I need it to go. It's all going to be under the frame, so it doesn't have to be super pretty or anything. But you want to fill in all of those spaces. Whoops, there we go. You'll see the method to my madness here in just a moment. All right, we're just going to put a piece right in there. Now the final piece is going to go right here across the top. And I'm going to have to trim a little bit off again. Alright, so you can see I've pretty much gone all the way around the edge here with my foam. And I think I'm even going to put a little piece right there on top of my tree because I can tell that that does not have any foam under it. So that way I'll just put a little bit right there. Okay. Put on my extra pieces of foam. This is going to be one of those videos where it's watching me a lot rather than listening to me. But it makes a really fun card in the end. So, okay, now I'm going to take my foam off of here. Whoopsie. Now, if I wanted to, I could add more layers of things right here on top of my foam. And that would give me another kind of... I don't want to say dimension, but it would be, you could add things in there and have them kind of hanging off the edge and trim them, and you could definitely do that. All right, now I'm going to remove these pieces, and they will come up from under there. Oops. And we're going to go ahead and layer our frame on top of our scene that we've built. Okay. All right, now you pretty much just have one shot at getting this on straight. So you want to take your time and line it up. Hopefully we're good. I think so. All right, there we go. All right. It's not hard. You just have to kind of take your time and make sure that that's as lined up as you can get it. You know, and if you get off a little bit, yeah, just trim it off. And, you know, you can put something over there there's ways to kind of hide your off if you get it off a little bit. We've all had to do that, right? Okay, now I'm going to put my sunflower about right here. And it's obviously in the foreground. And just a little bit of glue here. Okay, and now, let's see, I might want to move him over just a little bit. There. All right, sorry about that. I probably should have laid it out first. And now I'm going to put my mailbox over here. And again, I'm going to want to put my foam on the door part, and we're going to double that up. Now I'm going to add just a little bit of glue. So you see I have that doubled up foam there. When I do things like this, you know, I have all my pieces, but I want him to kind of go under, I think. There we go. You know, I have all my pieces, but I don't always know exactly, you know, I'm a creator as I go. So once I get kind of all my pieces, I just play with them till I get them the way I want them, which I'm sure a lot of you are all the same way, that it's just kind of the fun of it is, you know, designing it as you go. Oops. I got foam all over the place here. Okay, we'll use this piece. I am putting foam on my gourds and my pumpkin. And let's see, I think I'll put this one right over here. And I need a little skinny piece for my pumpkin. closer to the other one. All right, there we go. We have our scene. Now, before we go any further, the next thing I like to do, and you see the different layers in there? So the next thing I'm going to do is pick a sentiment. Now you can see I chose to just put a sentiment right up here at the top. And I have made those sentiments from little sentiment strips that I made with my glimmer machine. And I keep them in these little tailored expression boxes. And so when I, have a occasion, I have them right there ready to go. And this one says a really big thank you. And I kind of like that one for this one. And these are a fun thing to have. And it is two-sided, so there's two trays in there for two different sets of sentiments. All right. I think I'm going to go ahead and offset it like I did before, or maybe center it. I don't know. All right. We won't overthink it. We'll just put the sentiment on, right? So the main thing I wanted you to see in today's video is using your foam to create those 3 different layers where you can create perspective on your card, the things that are further away and the things that are closer. And the last thing we're going to do is go ahead and add some glitter to all of this, because with that nice foil, it just, I don't know if you can see it, but you see the glitter on the leaves and stuff. It just adds so much to add that glitter. So we're going to go ahead and do that real quickly. There we go. My poor 3D crystal lacquer is so gommed up, I can hardly get it out anymore. Let's see if I can force that out. Oh, good. There it comes. Okay. All right. I'll get my paintbrush here. And I'm just going to paint all my leaves. Down in there. Whoops. Paint my sunflower. My pumpkins and my apples. And definitely these really pretty gourds over here. And I think I did just a little bit on my mailbox as well. Not a lot, just a little. Just tapping him. Okay. Now, I'm just going to add my glitter. There we go. Now when that dries, of course, you won't see the glue. And the only thing left to do is add our card base, add it onto our card base. I do think this would be pretty. If you wanted to make dimensional flowers and add, you could definitely make some sunflowers. That would look really pretty on this one, because we're a little heavy on the right-hand side on this design without having that house as a focal point. Adding some flowers would be fun on this one. I may come back and do that. But you can see that having 2 layers of foam, why it's a good idea to put this on a top folding card. All right, and there we go. I just love making these fall cards. Been having a really fun week. So later today, I do have a video coming on Heartfelt Creations channel as well, where we're going to make a lovely fall bouquet on a card. And I hope that you will join me for that as well. Let me pop back. All right. Thanks so much for coming here and sharing the time with me on Carrie Lee Creations, making a card with perspective. And if you have any questions about anything, feel free to leave those in the comments, and I will definitely get back with you. And I am also going live on Whimsy Stamps channel every Thursday, so I would love it if you would join me there. Please do like and subscribe and thumbs up and all that good stuff. It helps me so much. I hope you have a lovely day, and I look forward to crafting with you again soon. Thanks. Bye-bye.